You're listening to She's Got Drive podcast, the podcast that inspires women to be a driver in their own life. And I'm your host, Shirley McAlpine. I'm a business consultant, an executive coach, and a leadership facilitator, working with people and organizations to live their lives by design and not default. Welcome to the first edition of She's Got Drive, What's Been Driving Me This Week. And this is kind of like a She's Got Drive short. So where each week I'll share with you what's the main thing that's occupying my mind, my energy, my time, and my spirit. So I'm going to share with you what I'm doing about it as well. So what are the strategies that I'm using, the thing that's guiding me, what's the thing that's giving me life at the moment, or what's the thing that might be driving me completely crazy. And so what do I do when I get present to all of those things? So if you want to find out how to take on a change in your own life, or actually a transformation, then you have come to the right place. So through the sharing, my intention is that you get to see what you can do about the things that are driving you. And if you're a regular listener, you would have heard in my last episode that I talked about that I wanted to separate this and bring it out of the episode because there's more that's up for me about my health, my well-being, because of my diagnosis of osteoporosis. And really my self-care, which started off as a goal at the beginning of the year and a plan, is really turned into a self-care strategy. And I have to be more strategic about what I'm doing because I have to look at what are the things that I need to do in order to bring myself back to health. 100% health, and what are the things that in all aspects, what are the things that impact this condition? It's been a lot of research and I continue to do that, a lot of conversations, a lot of reaching out to my support network and expanding to new and creating new support networks, and a lot of action whilst going through an emotional roller coaster. I'm someone who can quite readily get into action. It's the way that I produce results. If you ever do any kind of assessment tools, one of the things that I come at as an activator, or my learning style is that as well. And so I get into action. I can take solid actions and still be in, as I said, my emotional roller coaster of up and down. It doesn't stop me from doing the things that need to be done. I know that's not true for everyone, but that's one of the things that's true for me. This week, what I want to focus on is my exercise. It's been the biggest thing in my self-care strategy because it's one of the key things that's going to make a difference to building my bone density. And so I wanted to share with you how I'm doing that and what I'm doing, because it can show you. It can also show an approach that you can use on anything, really. And if you're someone who's looking to improve your exercise, that aspect of your health and well-being, then, hopefully this inspires you too. So I've had to move from doing yoga in my home for 20 minutes a session, like 2 or 3 times a week, was my average. By July, I need to be at 6 times a week doing exercise, and I'm currently at 5. And 4 of those sessions needs to be strength training sessions, 2 of which with my coaches, and 2 of which will be me doing my own work. That, as you can imagine, I have already a full packed life, and I travel with my work. I'm having a very good work year, successful work year. It's full, and I have 2 children. One who was in her freshman year at high school, my son in 5th grade. I have a husband who also travels for work. We bought our own home for the first time in the States last year. There's a lot. It's full. It's a full life and a wonderful life. And then here I have this thing that I need to fit in. So my first thing was like, how does that work? So the first thing to get is whenever we got something new to put in our lives, because we have to, even if we want to, in the beginning, it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. It can't fit with the existing pattern, because we have structured that pattern in a particular way. So if it feels like it doesn't fit, it's because it actually doesn't fit. It just doesn't. Something has to go. Something has to reconfigure. Something has to move in order to create the space for the new thing to come in. And so that was one of the biggest things that I had to look at, was how do I make it fit? And the key thing that started to create the shift for it making it fit was me reorientating how I viewed myself and my health in my life. And the truth was, it wasn't number one until this diagnosis. I talked about it being important and critical, but it wasn't number one. It wasn't the first thing that I thought about when I got up in the morning. It wasn't the first thing that I did when I got out in the morning. It wasn't the primary thing that I considered when I'm looking at my schedule. It wasn't my go-to. In fact, my daughter started to row, and I started to give her some of my exercise gear because I wasn't using it as much as I used to be. That is telling. So I had to really think about, how do I do this differently? And the key is, how do I put myself first, myself and my health first? And I created and invented this project. Is called My Health Comes First. Period. And from that place, if my health comes first, then as I look at what I have to do and handle in my life, things start to look very different in my schedule. So that's now one of the bigger chunks, So one of the things that I'm doing is my health comes first. And the thing that I did was, I scheduled my coaching, my strength training coaching with my coaches 3 months out. Immediately, we got in the schedule for the next 3 months. The sessions that I'm doing with them, with my coaches, 2 of them each week for the next 3 months. And so that's in. It's like a building block. And now I can start to build other things around that. If you think it doesn't fit, it doesn't, until you can reorientate yourself and look at what truly is a priority. And when it's a priority, you look at your life and your landscape of your life in a different way. So that's one of the second things I'd say. The other thing I had to look at was, I've got six exercises to do. 4 of them strength training, 2 of them cardio. How do I choose what my cardio is going to be? And I got lots of ideas from people. But the first place to start was, I wanted something that was familiar because everything else was new. And I wanted something that I knew I could do because I didn't know whether I could do the strength training. I was concerned about the strength training, to be honest. In the beginning, I remember my first, going to my first session. I was really nervous about doing it. But now I actually really love it. I enjoy it. It goes fast. It's super challenging. Sometimes it's painful sometimes. And my coaches, Ryan and Aaron, are fantastic. And so I enjoy going to my sessions. But the cardio so that was new. It still is new. I'm learning as I go. And I wanted to do something that's familiar. I wanted to do something that was fun for me. I wanted to do something that I enjoy and love to do because I have to get up and do it. And I wanted to do something that also served me in another way. And so I chose running. And what that does in terms of serving me another way, it gets me outside. I prefer to run outside. So I run in the park or by the lake. And the other thing it does is it allows me time to process and think and reflect and deal with what's coming up for me around my health. So if you can find something that you love, that's fun, that you want to do, that serves more than one purpose, so it's a kind of a meditative practice for me too, then do something that pulls you in that way. If it doesn't pull you in that way, and it's familiar, if you're doing a range of things, if it doesn't pull you in that way, then find something that does. So this is the part where you have to experiment and you have to practice different things. So I know that running is something I used to do. When my dad died 10 years ago, that's when I started to be a runner. And it was wonderful for me in my grieving. It just allowed me to be with my thoughts and my feelings in a way, and it was very productive in that way. And so this is having a similar effect around managing my emotional roller coaster, giving myself space about thinking about what am I doing and how am I living my life, how do I change the things that I need to change, and what impact it's having on me and my confidence and stuff like that. And then the other thing it does is just, it's obviously achieving the goal around my cardio exercise. If you want to know how I'm doing it, I'm using an app, Couch to 5K. Why am I doing that? Because I like to follow plans. I don't want to have to think about how far am I running today? How am I doing the run? Am I doing it right? I literally listen, start running, start walking, start running, start walking. I just follow instructions. And the other thing that I do is I have a particular playlist that I'm playing. Each time it's the same playlist, and it has some songs in there that are so empowering for me right now, that is keeping me going. Is literally has really saved me on a number of times in terms of my mind. And one of the songs is Dwayne Woods, I think his name's Dwayne Woods, Let Go and Let God. And that song is like a prayer for me right now. If you want to listen, I've put a link in the show notes for that, because it's just this beautiful song that just keeps my faith. That's what it does. It keeps my faith in a time when it's really truly challenged. So that's what's how I'm doing around my exercise and my running. So if you're doing something new, taking on something new, think about something that has something familiar in it that you love to do, that's fun to do, that achieves more than one goal for you, and then choose that. The last thing I want to say, and this is going to be a thread running throughout, I think, this journey that I'm on, and that will be in my What's Been Driving Me This Week episodes, is the support. And my whole relationship to support. And I am your archetypal achiever, driven, get things done, pulling things out of the hat, turning things around, transforming things kind of woman. The upside of that is I achieve a lot. The downside of that is sometimes when I need support, it isn't there because I look like I don't need it. I've had to be more open about what I need. I've had to start thinking about what do I need, and I've had to start reaching out a bit more. And that's a journey for me. I am getting some support as well, and the support, it can look in different ways. I have one friend who took me to a Pilates class in LA today, and so this is the day I recorded it, and that has, for example, my good friend Lisa has introduced me to a different thing that I could think about doing. That's a useful piece of support. Other is being able to talk about what's happening to me is another piece of support. And so finding your support for whatever changes you want to make in life. I have said this before. If you have listened to my previous programs, you would know that this is a critical piece of change, and achieving the goals that you want in your life is surround yourself with people who can support you in achieving what you need and what you want. And that will go a long, long way. So I know that I need to increase that and be clearer about that. But the more I am on this journey, the more I'll get clearer about what that looks like. So that's what's been driving me this week. And my question to you is, what's driving you this week? The more we can get present and aware to what's driving us, then we can do something about it, because we're always being driven by something. And so how are you going to respond to what's driving you? And, what's going to put you back in the driving seat? Because if it's driving you, it's the thing that's going to be directing what you're doing and how you're doing it. And when you start to really consider what it is and start to make an intervention, then it's like, then you are back in the driver's seat. So, you find your thing, what's driving you, and then you take action around it. Now, if you're someone who does exercise and or does any kind of walking or anything like that, I'm curious to find out what you listen to when you are doing your exercise. So if you have any suggestions for me about what I could be listening to as well on my exercise, what playlist I could create multiple playlists, and maybe I'll do a She's Got Drive playlist for our health and well-being. So if you've got any suggestions, let me know. You can hit me up on my Instagram. You can put it in my comment section. You can send me a message on Instagram on Shirley McAlpine. You can put it on the Facebook page. You can email me through my website at shirleymcalpine.com/contact me. Either of those ways, send me your suggestions on the things that you love to listen to when you are getting on that treadmill, or when you're running, or when you're doing yoga, anything. When you are doing any kind of exercise and well-being, and I'll create a playlist. Yeah, so if I create this playlist, maybe I'll put it out on Spotify and share it. Let's see. So if you've got any ideas, let me know. And just a reminder, if you are working on some goals, it's halfway through the year, remember, you can always download my 4-step goalkeeper to keep you on track on your goals and helping you to create your goals. And if you've got some goals around your health and well-being, it's a good tool to use. So go to shirleymcalpine.com/goalkeeper to download your 4-step goalkeeper PDF there to work through. So let me know what you're getting from the what's been driving me this week. I'm curious to find out if it's if you've got something out of it. You know that I always love to hear from you. So you've got my contact details. You know where to find me, and I love to hear what you're getting. She's Got Drive is produced by Cassandra Voltalina. The music is by the awesome all-female band Blonde. The song is called Circles. If you're enjoying She's Got Drive, leave a review as well on iTunes if you feel like it. And I would love you to subscribe so you can automatically download the episodes as they come out. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, go well and stay well.